We have officially reached the semifinals in the FIFA Club World Cup. There is only 2 games left to see who is going to be playing in the final, and the 2 games are between Fluminense and Chelsea and PSG against Real Madrid. In today's video, I'm going to be predicting the results for both of these matches and telling you guys who I think is going to be in the 2025 Club World Cup final. Obviously, if you guys agree with my predictions, remember to let me know down below. But if you disagree with my predictions and you think there may be a couple upsets, remember to leave your predictions down below and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. So without further ado, let's get right into these predictions. Starting off with the first game, we have Fluminense against Chelsea. I've been supporting Fluminense for this whole Club World Cup tournament and I've been predicting them right in every single round. In the group stage, I predicted Fluminense to finish in 2nd place behind Dortmund, which is exactly what happened. In the round of 16, I predicted them to beat Inter Milan, which they ended up doing. And in the quarterfinals, I predicted them to beat Al Hilal 2-1, and they went ahead and beat Al Hilal 2-1. So I think my predictions with Fluminense have been pretty spot on so far. If you guys didn't know, I do support Fluminense in the Brazilian league. I like a lot of different teams, but I think Fluminense are my favorite. I do know a lot of Palmeiras fans, but obviously they did recently lose against Chelsea. But I always thought that Fluminense were a very, very underrated team. And even if you look at their squad now, a lot of people don't rate Fluminense, but they have some very, very impressive players. In my opinion, 3 players that have been standing out so far in this Club World Cup the most are 1, Thiago Silva, who is getting up there in age, but he is still playing absolutely incredible. He is the leader in that defense, and he's even helping the manager manage their team. The second player is Hercules, who has normally been coming off the bench, but he has been so good for them off the bench. He scored multiple goals, and it's mainly his actions that have helped Fluminense get this far. And the third player, who I think is incredibly underrated, is John Arias, the winger. This guy, in every single game against Inter Milan, against Al Hilal, in the group stages, he has been incredible. His runs, his dribbling, he has created so many chances for Fluminense, and I think he's a very, very underrated player. Now, do I think Fluminense can beat Chelsea? This is going to be very, very tough because they have the experience, they have the know-how. They just beat Inter Milan in the round of 16, who were 2nd place in the Champions League. So they have the ability to beat Chelsea. But the main thing with Chelsea that I think has gotten them so far, and that could possibly continue to take them to the final, is their squad depth. Chelsea have one of the biggest squads in Europe. They're full of youngsters and they have loads of depth. In the attack, they have so many attackers that can come off the bench and make a difference. In the midfield, even defensively, they have so much depth in that squad, and I think that is one of the main reasons why Chelsea have made it this far, because a lot of these other teams, they don't have the depth that Chelsea are able to have with all the money that they spend. And for that reason, I think that will really help Chelsea in this game. We saw Chelsea in both of their previous 2 games against Palmeiras and against Benfica, where they scored many late goals. And once again, that leads back to my point about their depth, because they have players that they can bring on and they can score goals, and they're proven players. And I think this really, really helps Chelsea. And if Chelsea win this game last minute, I wouldn't even be surprised, because with all the depth that they have, they could easily do this. But once again, we have seen Chelsea struggle against Brazilian teams much more than they have against some of the other teams. We did see them lose 3-1 against Flamengo in the group stages. And even in the last match against Palmeiras, it was not an easy match. And I would say that if it wasn't for defensive mistakes by Palmeiras, they could have probably won. I think Palmeiras could have beat Chelsea in this game. So I think this is going to be a very, very tough game for Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea are the favorites in this match, but I've been supporting Fluminense for this whole tournament, and I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to take them all the way. I think Fluminense can make it to the final. They may prove me wrong, but so far, I've been correct with all my predictions with Fluminense. And in this game, once again, I think Fluminense are going to win 2-1. Moving on to the next match. Now, this is a highly anticipated match between PSG and Real Madrid. Mbappe's former club against Mbappe's new club. Who is going to win? I think this is going to be a very close game. In PSG's last match, I did predict that they were going to beat Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich have been very good so far this tournament. Yes, they did suffer that 1-0 defeat against Benfica, but other than that, they have been very, very convincing. But the thing with PSG is they have such a perfect squad. This is the perfect year and the perfect time for PSG. They have a mix of young players, but they also have some of their older veterans like Marquinhos, and they have a very experienced manager in Luis Enrique, who has won multiple trophies with Barcelona. He has won all these trophies before, and he's done it again. He won the treble with PSG. He won the Champions League with PSG, and I think they are the favorites to win the Club World Cup. But you can't write off Real Madrid because yes, maybe they had a little bit of a rocky start against Al Hilal where they drew that game 1-1. But since then, they have been very, very impressive. They won the other games in the group stages. They beat Juve in the round of 16. And in the last match day, they did beat Dortmund 3-2. But I wouldn't say it was the most convincing game. Obviously, they did get the red card. And close to the end of the game, Dortmund almost came back. They scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes of play, and they almost brought the game level. But Real Madrid just held off and won the game. Now, I will say that if you look at Real Madrid's team, there has been 2 players that have been extraordinary so far in this Club World Cup, and that is Garcia and Garcia. Obviously, I'm talking about Gonzalo Garcia and Fran Garcia. Both of these players have been absolutely incredible. Fran Garcia on the defensive end has been very good, and he's also helped them going forward as he scored a goal and also got an assist. But Gonzalo Garcia, I've never really heard of this guy. He's a young 21-year-old forward, and in almost every single game in this tournament, he has been getting goals. He's been helping out in the attack. He has been going crazy, and it's not like he's scoring some beautiful goals, some crazy shots from outside the box, but he is always in good positions to get rebounds, to get headers, and that is a very rare trait in young strikers where they have that positional awareness. And for him to have that at such a young age, I think he could be a top talent in the future. Honestly, I think this would be a very, very close game, and I think normally it would be much harder to predict. But obviously with Dean Huijsen getting that red card in the last game, next game most likely Raul Asensio will have to play in the center back position, and I don't think he has been good for Real Madrid at all in recent matches. So with that miss of Dean Huijsen, I don't think Real Madrid will be as good defensively as they have been in the last 2 games, and for that reason, I do think PSG will be able to score multiple goals in this game. We did see them struggle in the first half against Bayern Munich, but in that second half, PSG were definitely better, and after they scored that first goal, they always looked like they were knocking on the door. They looked like they were going to get another one, and obviously in the last few minutes, another one did come from Dembele. So in this game, I just think PSG look too good at the moment. Real Madrid are missing a very good center back in Dean Huijsen, and for that reason, I think PSG will win this game 3-1, and the Club World Cup final will be PSG against Fluminense. And that is the end of this video. Those are my semi-final predictions in the Club World Cup, where I think that Fluminense will beat Chelsea and PSG will beat Real Madrid. If you guys agree with my prediction, remember to leave a comment down below. But once again, if you disagree with my prediction and you think Chelsea or Real Madrid will be in the final, remember to leave your predictions down below and I'll be sure to reply to every single comment. If you guys are excited for my final predictions, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.